All right. Yes, there you go. Hi, Nidhi. Can you hear me? All good?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So, yes, good evening, everyone. I can see there must be your family is also joined, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Sweet. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Let me just put this across that we are currently YouTube live. So, a big shout out to everybody there and who've connected with us this evening. Now, just a little bit about PhD 101 and the rendezvous sessions to many of those who are not aware of it. Now, PhD 101 is Public Health Dentistry 101, dedicated to the subject of dental public health. And this was something which was result as the COVID times. So we started connecting with students and teachers across the country, mainly with the purpose of advancing the specialty and exploring newer teaching and learning paradigms. And as we progressed on this path, it's been almost more than a year and a half now, and we're really happy to share with everybody that we connected with over 125 teachers and almost close to 3,500 4,000 dental students who receive our notifications and material, everything absolutely free of cost across the country. So this is just a small attempt in advancing the subject and to make public dentistry slightly more interesting and involving. Now, in this direction, the year 2021, we commenced with the Rendezvous series, which is usually to getting to know the perspective of dentists who have excelled in various other backgrounds and to give the added dimension, which would be really helpful for students to pursue their paths and also think outside the box. In connection with that, immensely happy that today we have Dr. Nidhi Ruparelia, who is a consultant aesthetic dentist and endodontist from Gujarat. Before I get into the details of our speaker, I must really thank Nidhi for doing this and everyone who made this possible and who got us connected. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for connecting and joining with us and spending your time with us so that we might enrich, from your services and experiences. Now, before I get into the much details of today's session, I just want to give a little introduction about our speaker. Dr. Nidhi currently works as an consultant aesthetic dentist and endodontist in various clinics in and around Ahmedabad as well as Gandhinagar. She's also been an opening TEDx speaker at the TEDx Lakota Lake event. She's extremely passionate about her field and she believes in taking up a revolutionary step towards evolving and technological advancement and enhancements in dentistry. Now, she actually fosters an idea where she wants to contribute something to the society and make it more healthier and better. So, her main and aim and goal is to provide the most precision, which is otherwise very challenging to achieve. So, it'll not just help us evaluate standards, but also help dental professionals perform better. She's also passionate about helping patients improve their oral health and achieving their beautiful smile. And apart from this, she's presented various papers at zonal and national conferences and also got several awards for the same. She's keenly interested in research, involved in writing articles and conducting research studies. Now, as we've seen that her passion is to challenge herself, learn and evolve newer skills and maintain a balance between two very important aspects of life. So when we look at this perspective here, we understand that most of you are curious about the TED Talk which Dr. Nidhi has delivered. In that, which we will be sharing a bit of that as we get into the presentation, was mainly dealt regarding robotic intervention in dentistry. So she spoke about her observations with robotic interventions and how it can change the scenario for the Indian dentist. So this is a brief introduction for our speaker for today. Welcome, Nidhi. Yes, your opening thoughts, please.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you so much, sir, for such a lovely introduction. And I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my views with all of them around. So thank you, sir. Um, sir, once I get my TED talk, people have been asking me a lot about it. That what are my further plans to do about it? Like, how am I moving forward with it? So yeah, I guess this platform will definitely help me to reach out to public at large.
Yes.
Sir, so my TED talk was all about robotic intervention in dentistry. Robotics have been used in various fields apart from dentistry. Like it has been used in healthcare since years, but in dentistry, it has now been evolved. My TED talk was all about robotics into now and the future of robotics into dentistry. Like how it first came into this scenario. Like people used to do it in the form of patients, robotic patients, and then now we are talking about having a robot that will actually perform the treatment, and the dentist just needs to sit back, relax, and just monitor the treatment that is being performed. Why do we need robotic in dentistry? Because, sir, so dentistry is art and science. It is, yes, it requires your skills, but it is also very technical. How it is technical? Because, sir, as we go across every day, even if 1 mm of obturation is short, say, for example, even we leave 1 mm of the working length short of the apex, patient will come back to you and say that patient is having pain. So the utmost precision which we require while doing the dental treatments is merely, I would say, impossible, but it takes years to master those skills. So when we take help from the painless, beautiful done treatment, and of course, it will be beneficial to both the patient.
Okay. Yes, Nidhi. So I think you've clearly laid down your points where, what was it all about. I think if we can just show the audience. So I'd like to show a little bit of your TED Talk presentation and share with the audience here. So, yeah, are you able to see my screen? I think.
Yes.
I would like you all to imagine that what if you all are suffering from a toothache and you go visit your dentist? But now, imagine yourself being treated by a robot rather than a human. This would be your reaction, right? Well, that's possible. And why not? Since we are living in an era of artificial intelligence, where with your voice command you could get all your work done, then why not robotic intervention in the field of dentistry? And this more sort of sounds like a sci-fi movie to you. Well, robots performing human surgeries merely cannot be just an imagination. It could be a boon for medicos. Over the years, artificial intelligence and robotic intervention has helped in many fields. Apart from dentistry, robots have been used in performing various complicated brain and eye surgeries. So why not robotics in the dentistry? Dentistry has evolved over these years. It has seen a transition. First of all, we had our traditional X-rays. These are the X-rays in which we used to take the films, we used to develop it, just like we had photograph, and now we have shifted to DSLRs or say our mobiles. Then we came up with developing the intraoral scanners. So in this, what we do is we put this instrument scanner inside your mouth. This is displayed over your TV screen, and you are able to see what it is inside your mouth and what treatment we are doing. Moving a step more forward, we came up and developed the 3D printed model. So this is basically a replica of what you have inside your jaw. So dentistry has evolved over these years, and dental training robots are what is the newer in this trend. First of all, it started like we had this phantom heads, that is our dental training robots, in which we used to perform our work, model work, during our second years of in the college, that these jaws are somewhat artificial teeth kind of structure, and we used to practice in it. Then we went forward, and we had realistic human-like robots. So Showa Hanoka, which is a realistic human-like robot, was developed. It was first of its kind. The good point about this robot is that it was capable of showing gestures and responses just like a human. So we had more precise approach of what it is like to work on a real patient. We were still not satisfied with it. So we came up with the idea of developing Geminoid F. Now, Geminoid F is a robot, a realistic human-like robot that is capable of mimicking human facial expressions. A good part about that is that it is capable of laughing. Still, we thought that this is not what we are looking for. So we did more research and came up with the idea of developing HRP4. This robot was capable of singing along with showing human expressions. Still not satisfied? The best robot created till date is Simroid, which is again a robot that is capable of showing human emotional response. This robot was able to rate and evaluate our treatment procedures. So I'll tell you how. 2 cameras were installed on top of this robot, and after performing the surgeries, this robot will give you a rating that how good you were during the surgery. Then we came up into a more concise approach. We tried and developed endodontic micro robot. So I'm sure you must all have most about the term root canal treatment. Well, this robot was basically designed in performing root canal treatment. The problem which we were usually facing is root canal treatment is often a long and tedious procedure which requires proper skill and accuracy. When done with the help of these robots, it was done easily within a couple of minutes. This kind of robot is installed in the top of your tooth, and then it performs everything. The doctors just need to sit beside and monitor that everything is running fine. Another up, we had dental implant robots. Now, implants are a kind of artificial tooth that are permanently fitted into your mouth. First of all, we had denture kind of thing in which we used to remove the denture. So patient didn't had a feel like these were actual teeth. But now, because of implants, we have a more concise and precise approach to what it feels like to have natural teeth. Recently, first ever automated surgery took place in China, in which 2 artificial teeth were implanted into a woman's mouth with the help of a robotic arm. Being dentist, what issue we usually face is, we are always working within a small confined space within the oral cavity. We expect our patient's mouth opening to be like this, but what we usually get is this. Also, in some patients during surgeries, we are not able to see what we are doing. So, I came up with an idea of creating a robot that will do all the functions, and the doctors just need to relax, sit back, and see the procedure. This is an extensive step in the field of dentistry, as it will help both the dentists as well as students to give a more proper treatment. My idea is basically a cluster of different things. It has innovation, it has social impact, it has accuracy, it has efficiency, and it has automation. Let me discuss all these points in a little detail. Talking about innovation, till date, various robots have been created on which surgery could be performed, but none of them have been created which could actually perform the treatment. So, this would be first of its kind. What impact could it create on the society? Around 68 to 84% of the Indian population belongs to rural areas, where people have to wait for hours to be treated, where people are devoid of basic healthcare and medical care facilities. So, when we install such robots at this place, say 3 to 4 robots under the supervision of even a single doctor, then I guess we could reach population at large. There are several broken down, unutilized community health centers, public health centers across the country. So, if we could set it up nicely and place such robots, I guess that would be revolutionary. I am sure you all must be thinking that me being a dentist, sharing this idea, I am almost decreasing the need of the dentist, or I am finding a replacement for the doctors, right? Well, let me tell you that that is not going to happen, because absolutely nothing in this world can be compared to a human, because we are the ones actually creating them. This technology will surely help us as an assistant, but never be a replacement for us. Giving you a real life example, I'm sure you all must have been seeing the movie Robot, in which the chitty, that is the robot, was even undermined the Wasi, the doctor, the creator himself. So nothing can be compared to human skills. According to an article in the Indian Medical Times, the ratio of doctor to population is 1:8,000 in the urban population. So 1 doctor per 8,000 patients. But this ratio is even worse when we go and talk about the rural population, which is 1:50,000. Only 1 doctor per 50,000 patients. This clearly makes the need of this project important. There are many positive effects of creating this robot. Today, as I share this idea with you all, I hope that we reach it to the end users and will be able to reach public at large. Thank you.
All right. Yes. So I think the first question actually, Nidhi, you can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost thing is how did this idea germinate? How did you diversify into this? I mean, I'll come to the other things. I think many of us would be curious to know that. So if you could throw some light on that.
So, sir, I was not having this idea until I was through with my graduation. But once I came into my post graduation, we always have to look for something different because we always focus on the research part. We have to create the short studies, we have to work on our paper presentations, poster presentations. So that is the moment where you start thinking of being a little different from the rest of the people. And then I was doing the research. So I basically wanted to conduct a short study kind of thing for which I could be, publishing it in a journal or something. So when I did my research about artificial intelligence in dentistry, I came to know that design has been proposed, but it has been years since it has been proposed, and no measures have been taken to take it even further or to put it out in an actual form. It was just everything was there on a paper. This was just an idea or say an experiment which was being proposed, but not have been worked upon. And I was actually fascinated by the idea that if this was such a great idea, maybe we could take a step further and work on it.
Okay. So it was your postgraduate days, I think, which started off this, I would say, Kida for artificial.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so now going back into more perspectives, because the reason what you are today is a result of accumulated experiences over the years. So I mean, all of us would be very curious to know about how everything started, your undergraduate days and postgraduate days. So I think if you could share some light on that, that'll be helpful. Yeah.
So, okay. So I come from a very small city which is known as Junagadh, which is in Gujarat. The capital of Gujarat is Gandhinagar, and Junagadh is situated approximately 350 kilometers away from Gujarat. So initial my schooling days were different, but yet I was very thankful that my parents got me into Kendriya Vidyalaya. So I had an exposure to maximum number of people from in and around Gujarat and from other states as well. For my graduation, I got into Ahmedabad. I got into College of Dental Sciences and Research Center, where I was doing my graduation. In my post graduation, I did from Gandhinagar, that is the Goenka Research Institute of Dental Sciences in Gandhinagar.
So in your college time, I think, were you having any tendencies like, for trying out something new, or maybe trying publishing a paper, or with the help of faculty? How was your undergraduate days of orientation, and were you always oriented towards endodontics, or was it just which happened by default?
So, sir, initial first year is we are always fascinated about the medical field. So I'm always interested into the anatomy, human anatomy, physiology. I was very much interested in in anatomy. So I was reading it even a bit further than what was needed in dentistry. During my final year, we now it was the time where we were exposed to what actual dentistry was, because unless and until you get to work on real patients, you don't have that feel of what you are going to do with your life. There were basically, sir, only few branches which I was keenly interested in it. I was having a more edge towards endo. The reason being, you could actually see the end result the very moment you do it. Say, for example, if I start a root canal treatment, by the end of an hour, I'll be knowing that how good my root canal treatment has been done, which was not possible with other fields. If I go for ortho, I'll have to wait for years until I get my final result. So I was very much excited. Also, I am very grateful that endo is a branch in which I get to actually relieve the pain of the patient. So you get all the blessings from the patient that, okay, doc, you have done a great job, and I feel so relaxed, because the next for the next sitting when patient come to you, they give you a lot of blessings. So yeah, my final year in internship were the days in which my endo postings were really amazing. I had exposure to lot many patients, and that was the moment I decided that I was going to do endo only.
Absolutely. I think the instant feedback which conservative and endodontists get, that itself is very gratifying, and you are in to fix the problem of the patient. So it did happen. So after having developed your inclination, and we always see that, I was just going through your achievements and everything. So you've always not been a quote unquote studious girl, right? So you've always
Yeah.
been dancing, and you've been participating in culturals, and working along with that. How did you manage the balance between this? Because most of them are quite active in the undergraduate days, but you've also carried it to your PG days at Goenka as well. So any references, any specific instances of those from UG or PG days?
So, sir, first 4 years of my undergraduation days were very different, because I was just focused on my studies. I used to study, and throughout my undergraduate days, I have been a ranker. So I have managed to do it very nicely. So I was a total bookworm by then. But and I was seeing my friends having a good life, and I was all focused on studying and studying and studying. But when I came into internship, I realized that my college life has not been that fascinating, or say the kind of life that which we see in movies. I realized I was missing out a lot. I always had this passion about dance and extracurriculars, but and which I was lucky enough to get through during our internship, because internship is, again, it is fun, and again it is a responsibility that how you are going to shape up a future. So once I had exposure to extracurricular activities, then I tried and managed both during my PG days also, because then somehow you try to find that hour or two to practice and follow your hobbies along with your passion.
Hmm. True. I think what really is remarkable is you've held on to it, and most of them would probably prioritize and set forth, and like, I will not go back to Dandia. I will stick to endo and focus on all that. So when you have all these things piled up, I think it's very important with this thing. Now, another aspect which I think which you're curious to share to our audience is your transformation of physical fitness, right? And then you've spoken about that, and we have some pictures from there. So your transformation lifestyle, how important is it? And you'd like to share with our students here that important to be fit and also to work on that. So.
So, sir, when you are in your post graduation, it is a bit of a task. It is very exhausting on a physical level and on a mental level. And when you are not physically fit, you're not able to justify your treatment totally, because you will be fatigued at some point in your life, because you don't have your body to support your strength for your working hours. So at a point in my life, I realized that I didn't have the capacity to dedicate so many hours to the work which I'm really passionate about. And that was the moment where I thought that I need to do certain changes in my lifestyle, because now today where I come from, I do work for like 12 hours from 9 in the morning till 9 in the evening. I am there working, doing patients, and I have all the strength and energy, but I didn't had that stamina back in my college days because my body was not supporting me. So it is not just the fitness, it is not about just the appearance, the physique, but it is also the strength which comes along with being fit.
True. I think it's the endurance what we build up, and the resilience to work this forward. Now, coming to your postgraduate life, you did enter the world of endodontics, conferences and conventions, and you started discovering your specialty. Now, as you said, you always had a thing for concert endo. You always wanted to do this. How was it as soon as you entered? Was it a moment of joy, revelation that okay, this is happening, or maybe it was more of a grounding down moment, like okay, it's not what I imagined and how it goes, and your experience through your PG life, discovering the specialty, because a lot of students envision something and get into PG, okay, and they're in for something else, the deal of it. So how did you manage that journey and eventually accomplish it?
So, sir, I have always been asked so many questions like why I am a dentist or why I'm an endodontist. The only answer would be it is in spite of all the doom and gloom that we go through when I'm talking about dentistry. This is not a job that you just stumble into. Like for me, dentistry, it is something unique. Even with the realms of the healthcare, dentistry tends to stand apart because it is both. It is business and it is clinical skills. It is a job where we have a potential for a greater impact on a person's life, focusing on the part of the body which influences a person's confidence, the general health of the person, how the person eats, sleeps, everything. And so this is something which actually makes a huge impact on person's life. And I did manage to get to that part of dentistry.
Right. So I think we, in many cases, like Nidhi mentioned, we sort of underestimate the power of what a dentist, a professional, can do, mainly in terms of improving the whole experience of for a patient. So that was very, very, I think. Now, coming of course to your TED experience, we did hear, and it was really fantastic. How did that open up? Because TEDx is a platform. It is definitely more empowering. It leads you to many more connections and then help you grow. How has it helped foster your goals which you've already set, and where has it led to, and what are the current things which you're working upon? I think we're curious to know that.
So, sir, the theme of the year for which I applied for TED Talk was the bigger picture. So they were looking for ideas that were something out of the box, that were not very conventional. And I happened to have that perfect thing in mind. So it actually did fit the theme of the talk that year. So that is how I got into TEDx Lakota Lake 2019. Post my TED talk, I have got so many inquiries because it seemed that people have also been having keen interest in this, but then they don't have the right person to ask to or the right place to go and get the knowledge about it. Say, for example, if a person wants to get into artificial intelligence, being a dentist, they don't have any idea because as such there is not a course that has been taken up and where a person can go and enroll in. So yes, I have had many inquiries and I have been doing several researches since then. Post my TED talk, I am working currently on a project where we are incorporating so many different things, and hopefully we will come forward with a model someday soon.
Yes, yes, of course. Wishing you all the very best for that, and much more on this. Now, of course, coming to one of your key areas, which is robotic intervention and dentistry. Uh, how did this idea come across with the specifics? For example, was it application of technology taking it one level ahead, or was it like a patient experience that, probably I would be able to give better outcomes, or is it just incorporation of something advanced? So how did it happen, and how did you learn the whole process and evolve?
So, sir, being in endo, what difficulties or say what challenges or what problems we face usually is a person has had got a root canal treatment done, say for example, 5 to 7 years ago, but then the person comes and visits to you again saying that he or she still is having problem in the tooth which has already been RC treated. So that is the retreatment or say failed root canal cases, because we are talking about a huge number of cases. 65% of the cases are being retreated. And this is only because previously a person might have had certain complications, for example, say perforations or ledging or transportation of the apical foramen, or say stripping or missed canal or anything. So there are so many different things which can go wrong, which will hamper the health of the patient. So from this, I got this idea that we need an advanced endodontic technology in which we can use both advanced engineering, and it has to be computer aided technology to just reduce the potential for human error, because it will ultimately improve the quality of the treatment.
Sure. So, how did it all go ahead? Like, you got in touch with people who were working with artificial intelligence and application of these principles, and how did the process begin? Because you, as you mentioned, if I'm right, immediately after PG, right? You took this up, or while in PG?
So while in PG, I
While in
was
PG.
doing my research on that. So I was studying, I was talking to some of the people who have had this idea into robotics. But then, sir, post my completion of my PG, I got into I got into a team having engineers and IT team, which could actually enable or incorporate the things that I'm talking about. So basically, I am not studying anything about engineering or artificial intelligence. I just have to be clear on my part that what I want from a robot, and then I give them that idea, and then they work on it. And there are always difficulties, challenges that come across the way, that this is not going to work, or this is not the patent way to do this. But then you go on and keep solving them.
Okay, so I think we're having a look at one of the things which you worked upon, the pulposcope. Would you want to just take a minute and brief us how this works and the utilities of it?
So, sir, idea of pulposcope came from a thing which was a bit similar to thing known as perioscope, in which there was this fiber optic tube which can be inserted into your periodontal tissue, and then you can actually see how much amount of plaque or calculus has been deposited in it,
Yes.
and it could always help to improve the periodontal health of the patient. So my idea was, if we could insert something like that into the periodontal space, that why not something into the root canal, right? So as I studied further, I came to know that pulposcope was something to overcome the constraints of the root canal imaging. Say, for example, if we have adequate illumination inside the pulp chamber, that is our root canal, with high image quality, and it has to be like a nearly wireless image transmission. So there it was, the pulposcope was. It was sorry. It was important because it provides more flexibility with a single hand control, and the design is very ergonomic. So it will help us better imaging, and it will overcome the constraints which we have with our operating microscope or loops. So
Okay.
this is a tip which is made up of fiber optic bundle with 1.5 mm of tip diameter, which is actually goes inside your root canal and helps you visualizing inside.
Okay. So that's what it works basically in the principle of perioscope,
Yeah.
and you function better. Yes. So coming to the application of robotics, like in your experience, how is it potentially going to advance endodontic practice? Whether it is failed restorations, or is it about accessing, or even the restorative part? So the main aspects of how it can advance endodontic surgery.
So, sir, basically, it works on four basic principles. First of all, we need to assess the condition of the tooth, right? Once we we need to have a 3D model of the tooth that we actually are going to perform the treatment on. Once we have assessed the condition of the tooth, we'll have an idea where to start with our basic excess cavity preparation. So hence it will provide automatic precision, which will reduce the chances for perforations. Once we are through with that, it is a multi-purpose micro machining device which will work in various axes, that it works on 3 different axes, and it has 3 degrees of movement, which helps us in better cleaning and shaping.
Okay. So I think this definitely has a lot of utility, and how you actually function. I think one of the other advances what we did come across when reading up is the endo micro robot. I mean, it looks very fancy and everything. Of course, I imagine a picture from Wally, or maybe something which is popping up. So yes. How does this work or intend to be used, Nidhi?
So, sir, this endodontic micro robot comes in the form of a very small chip, which is made up of cellulose wafer, which we can easily place just like a bite block, which we place on a patient's tooth. And before placing it, we assess the thorough canal anatomy. So the robot will have the basic idea of how to start the procedure with. You just need to place the silicone wafer on the top of the tooth, and it will do all the work for you, from access opening to filing to irrigation to obturation, everything.
Okay. So it's like an all-in-one
Yeah.
endodontist I would have at my
Yeah.
practice. So I think, like you said, there is a lot of robotic intervention. I think how it is transformed or revolutionized, again, from imaging to operative procedures to treatment procedures, all of these things, right? So that becomes all the more imperative for us for looking for endodontic treatment as well. And as you said, the whole team, I think you need a lot of these things. So what are the challenges which you've observed? Like, of course, we need a lot of support from the stakeholders. So since you have been working and you are an example of how it functions, what is the way ahead for robotic intervention in dentistry across the country?
It is, yes, sir. It is a bit of a challenge. It is going to be a task because so many people know about it, but not many people have put in efforts to go through it, get through it. Also, we don't have that support which we require, because yes, we need a team. We need a team. We need support from the government in examples of financing the funding. We need a marketing team. We need a team of computer engineers which will actually help to build the project. We need an IT team to carry out forward what we are thinking and actually execute it. Also, this is not just a work of a single person, because there are so many aspects involved in it. So when you are dentist, you can go with the dental aspect, but yes, we need a team of mechanical engineers to actually fabricate the thing for us.
True.
So
So I think it's truly multidisciplinary in function. So moving on to other aspects Nidhi, of your profession, like the way you've been practicing, very unique and very articulate, I must say. A lot of your interests or things which you've been working upon is invariably to improve the patient experience. What have been your experience? I mean, your instances of experiences of how dramatically things improve when it look from a patient-centered approach.
uh, so we always have, being a dentist, we always must have come across a phrase once in life, or say several times in life, that we get our patients to say, "Ma'am, I hate dentists. I never want to go and visit a dentist." So these are the most common negative stereotype kind of thinking that people take in their head, and it is not just the people. There are money grabbing, money laundering, fear inducing sadists who has done this kind of job for a patient. So I am very much keen focused on patient care, because why would you like to be attached to something of that image? But like, you don't want a person to think of you like that. So for me, it is a long journey, because sir, we have had put so many efforts being a doctor. We have sat in the examination hall for like hours, and we have taken a lot of tasks to get through the exams, to get into the universities. We have paid exorbitant amount of fees. We have got through a lot of training, and it's not just the training. Once you come out, it's not that you go and start doing patients, because it is a never ending learning process. Every day you get to learn something new. um, we always face challenges with the patient, that patient don't open the mouth wide enough for us, or they are not cooperative, or we have a patient coming to us with broken files, and yet we have to explain to them that, ma'am, this was a mistake, it has been accidentally done, this is not the right way to do, and we'll improvise things for you. But having said that, when you go through all of these things, and when you finally see the patient building their trust on you, and actually telling you that, doc, do whatever the right thing do you think is for us, and at the end moment, when patient walks after your clinic very happy and satisfied, I guess this is all worth it.
Absolutely. Yes. I think this philosophy, right? I mean, it has to be seconded by most of them, and all of the students watching this. I think this is a very good take-home message for you all. How Dr. Nidhi professes her practice, centered around patients, and remember, I mean, because of patients, there are doctors, and not the other way around. So that's very important for us to discover. Now, moving on to the other aspects of what Dr. Nidhi is also into is a lot of educational training and vocational support what she's been doing, and she's helping young budding dentists train in this. So she has been conducting several workshops on very various aspects of endo and allied sciences as well, dentistry as a whole. So something about that, Nidhi, like how's it been your experience across the country, and being invited to so many places, and the diversity, what you notice, a bit about that.
So, sir, I just so realized that everyone is having a liking for a certain kind of field, but not that everyone has the privilege to get and learn something more of it. Like, not every person can do MDS, but then there are people like me who are so much into endo. And I was lucky enough to get through it. I was lucky enough to pass my NEET and get into endo. But there are people who have not got that opportunity. But then they always look forward to improvise in that field. So, so many budding dentists are out that, especially, so there are now during this COVID times, so many people have been devoid of the basic exposure from patients. So I guess I have been working with a lot of undergraduates, postgraduates, and I have got an amazing response from them. And yeah, I mean, it's all skills, and when you help them achieve the results which they were not able to achieve before, so yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. So I think pushing the barriers, aside, and venturing into all of these things, what really we understand, Nidhi, is the whole the way you've evolved and progressed, all your experiences so far, right, has been not to restrict yourself. Okay, you've always been open to a lot of newer challenges, newer aspects. Okay, we've always had people who take the path which is more tried and tested and more safe and quote unquote worldly in nature. But then you did have a lot of inclination to robotics. You've tried there, and you're advancing there, and phenomenal success there. And alongside, of course, you've always stuck to your practice, and you've had patients around the clock. And I know that how busy an endodontist you are, and I've taken your precious time on a Sunday. So that is also one of the things. But apart from that, it's about the training what you actually providing to students, of course. So there is a lot of learn, do, and also share. So that's really remarkable. I mean, it's a very inspirational story when you look at the whole cohort of how things have evolved over the years. So I think we'll be really happy that you're able to share all these things and move on and think. So coming to the almost the end of the session, Nidhi, what is your take-home message for students, especially the undergraduates who are watching this, and how are they supposed to take forward, especially when there's so much of pessimism around dentistry around? So what would you say to them?
Sir, I would just like to say that a person has two reasons to do anything, a good reason and a real reason. The good reason provides explanation to other, but the real reason gets you out of the bed. And I have so many good reasons to do that. Like every morning, I know that I want to go out, help people. I want to reduce the pain of the patients. I want to improve the quality of their life, and I want patients' goodwill, which feels great. So when you have so good real reasons to go out, I am sure you are going to achieve great things in life. All we need is just a focus and dedication, and we can do the impossible.
Yes. So I think as Nidhi put it, right, the ways how we look at it and how we evolve in this. So coming to the other aspects or other relatively, the uh, aspects which are still keeping you going. So still do you get time for Dandiya and Navratris, Nidhi, because you're a very busy practitioner and I'm sure you have a very tight schedule.
Sir, I do manage to have my patients till 8 in the evening, and post 9 I'm out there playing Garba like this is the last day of Navratri. And yet again in the morning we go back, run to the clinics from here and there because I've been doing consultation full time. So, and also I travel between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. So here I am juggling between two cities and yet enjoying Navratri of both the cities.
All right, great. So, what are you watching on Netflix these days, Nidhi? I think we're very curious to know what are your preferences for music and literature? Because as we know, like you're not someone who's just into a certain thing. Any recommendations for our audience today?
I enjoy to live the life the fullest. Like I enjoy to explore. I'm a big time foodie. I love my food. I like to explore each and every new place that has been out there. I like to go to events. I like dancing. I like music. I like food. I like everything. It's just that I keep a work-life balance, and that's amazing. And talking about Netflix, I do make sure I watch at least one good episode before going to sleep because I don't watch TV because you don't have time to go through anything, but then of course you need some kind of entertainment in your life. So last I was very excited about was Money Heist. Yeah, suppose that now really sir I want some good recommendations from you because now I'm out of good series.
By the way, did you like the ending Money Heist, the way it ended? Were you genuinely happy with it? Like there's a divided group
I
there.
am not
Okay. So was I not happy with the way it
not
ended.
happy
Not just the way, I mean, because it ended, but the way it ended,
the
right?
way it ended.
All right. Okay. So I think we have your family connected with us. If I could just ask,
Yeah,
I
my
think
mom and dad are
mom
connected.
and dad are there, right? So let me
Yeah.
just put them as well. Yes. Namaste, uncle. Namaste, auntie.
No, say.
Okay, let me just put it. So there you are. I think, yeah, we have Nidhi's mom here. Hello, auntie. So how do you feel? Your daughter has been doing so many amazing things at such a young age, and she is really a very inspiring role model for dental students. तो आपको कैसा लग रहा है? मतलब ये सब देखे हुए, मतलब yes, auntie.
निधि पहले से ही ऐसी है, वो
हाँ.
पढ़ती भी है और साथ में कुछ इनोवेटिव करती ही रहती है। वो एक जगह पे स्टिक होने वाली है नहीं और वो अपना काम करते करते वो साइड में इतना सारा कुछ मैनेज कर लेती है कि हमको भी ऐसा लगता है कि ये कैसे कर लेगी, लेकिन वो कर लेती है। अभी बताया ना, वो गरबा भी खेल लेती है, सुबह ट्यूशन करती है, शाम को गरबा खेल लेती है।
Okay, nice. So हमेशा से वो
talented and we are very proud of her.
Absolutely, because and of course, we know the back support and for everything what Nidhi is done, and of course we do wish her all the amazing luck. So it is quite essentially the family and the social support which has made her reach where she is today. So I
Right.
think you're very immensely proud of that. And if I could have Uncle say a few words for Nidhi, ऐसे कुछ खास बताइए अंकल नदी के स्कूल के टाइम के कॉलेज के टाइम पे मतलब आज जो अमेजिंग चीजें वो कर रही है एनीथिंग
बचपन से ऐसी है, कुछ ना कुछ नया सोचती है। लोगों की, आम लोगों की जर्नी जहाँ से खत्म होती है वहां से उसकी जर्नी स्टार्ट होती है, और वी आर रियली प्राउड ऑफ हर।
Nice. That's really, really sweet. Thank you so much, Uncle and Auntie, for connecting. And we really wish you the best of health and wellness. As we know that we are all a result of what we get support from our homes. So I think, Nidhi, your closing thoughts on the session today and everything from the beginning and the onset and the future plans, what you have.
Sir, a big shout out to you for giving me this really amazing opportunity that I could come here and share my views and my journey on such a great platform. So I'm really thankful to you. And yes, of course, my parents, because all I have been them, they have been through everything. They have been through thick and thin, and they have been with me like a rock solid. So this would never have been possible without them. So yeah, my parents. This is all. This is all because of them.
Absolutely, that's being. You're the only one at home, Nidhi.
I have a younger brother, but he is studying in Canada. So I guess it's just three of us.
Acha, okay, fine. So, Mama, Dada, and also are with you? Or,
My younger brother, yeah. But sir, he got his graduation from US and now he's doing his post graduation. So I think he is more busy than I am. I get time to do the extracurricular, but he doesn't. Also, he happens to be a TEDx speaker.
oh,
So,
that's lovely. Yeah. This brother and sister duo totally killing it.
yeah.
That's really interesting. What's really important here now, this is just a thought which came to my mind, is we present stories of positivity. And that's the reason why we're having this session. Just to be honest here, Nidhi. So when I did come across your story, of course, through your TED, and then we discovered there is a story which needs to be told and which will go on and inspire and motivate students that there is so much in dentistry which is out there for you to achieve. So yours is truly a testament to that kind of amazing journey. And yes, it could be done by hanging out, by traveling, by pursuing your passions, everything. I think dentistry is a profession which lets you balance things in the most amazing of things. And that is, you are a result of that. So we are so happy that you could connect with us today and share your experiences. Again, a big shout out to your family out there who are the reason of what you are today, and everybody, your colleagues and all of your groups. So if you want to take a minute and thank anybody specifically, you can go ahead and do that now. Your teachers or anything, because I mean, we would really love to connect with them. So yes, please.
So, sir, there is a special person which I would like to mention, Dr. Prateek Shah. Dr. Prateek sir has been a great mentor to me, because the reason I am here today is because he has been supporting me at various stages in life, be it my graduation, be it my post-graduation or my consultation days. So, sir has been a mentor, he's been a friend, and he has been a huge support. And sir, he's a practicing oral surgeon in Ahmedabad, and I guess he's one of his kind. Like he is the most amazing person I've ever come across in life, and I wish to be like him someday. So yeah, I owe a big time to sir.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think big shout out to Dr. Prateek for transforming Nidhi's life and leading her onto this journey. All right, so that brings us to the end of the session. So it was awesome talking to you, Nidhi, and having this, one of these sessions towards almost the end of the year, where we are in the most, I would say, adverse time of our lives, especially the COVID pandemic and the rising cases of Omicron across the country and the world. So it's about relentless optimism, which is evident in your journey. So thank you so much, Nidhi, for doing this. Thank you, Nidhi's family, for connecting with us. And
Just a minute. We loved the way you interviewed Nidhi.
thank you.
It was great. बहुत
you,
अच्छा लगा. हाँ, हमें खुशी है कि आप जैसे व्यक्ति ने हमारी डॉटर का इंटरव्यू किया. हम लोग याद रखेंगे आपको.
Surely,
Thank
surely.
you so much. Thank
And
you
I
so
would
much.
come to Ahmedabad sometime soon to get a feel of. I have a lot of my Gujarati friends, so I have a lot of obligations there. So of course,
Junagadh also.
Nidhi also was in Bangalore.
Definitely, sir, you should come. You should visit, sir. Sir, it's a beautiful city.
Yes, yes, indeed. And Nidhi was also in Bangalore, right, recently. So you were there for a workshop, this thing. I'm not sure, for student workshop. So yes, I think what really bridges us is the love for dentistry and for the subjects that we choose to pursue. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Nidhi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, Nidhi. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye, sir.